Well guys, it's official. Tony Ferguson is no longer with the UFC and has signed with GFL. GFL announced it earlier today on their Instagram. Kevin Lee, who has also recently signed with GFL, pretty much leaked the fact that Tony was in negotiations with them and said that he wanted to run it back with Tony. Kevin reacted to Tony officially signing with the promotion today. He said, "Let the games begin." He followed up with, "Hey Tony Ferguson, I'ma need that. Sign the line. Let's have a talk." He ended it off with, "My head coach passed shortly after my title fight with Tony in 2017 that sent my career in a whirlwind. This fight in 2025 will be about redemption. I lost my cool and let emotion overcome my skills. This fight in GFL will be different. Time to get what's mine." Marvin Vettori is now scheduled to make his UFC return after a 2-year layoff. A rematch between Marvin and Roman Dolidze has been booked for UFC Fight Night on March 15th. The two fought in March of 2023, and Marvin won via unanimous decision. It turns out Marvin thought he was fighting Roman Kopylov the whole time. Earlier today, Marvin said, "LOL, this whole time I thought it's Roman Kopylov, but it's actually Roman Dolidze. All good. Different last name, same result." Israel Adesanya versus Nassourdine Imavov goes down at UFC Saudi Arabia on February 1st. Dana White recently stated that Khamzat Chimaev will fight the winner of Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. However, Nassourdine Imavov believes with a good performance over Izzy, he may be able to earn the next title shot. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Imavov said, "Of course, depending on the performance, I can get the next title shot. It can be Khamzat. The fact that I went 4 fights in 1 year, 2 top 5, 2 top 10, that's something very significant. I'm never turning down any fights, and that's something the UFC likes a lot. So we'll see what happens. For now, I'm focusing on my next fight, and we'll see after that." Nassourdine also gave his take on Sean Strickland attempting to make a pact with Dricus du Plessis to keep their upcoming fight standing.
"Listen, Dutchman, I'm gonna need you to be a man. I'm gonna need you to stand up, not go to your knees, and we're gonna need to strike like men. I know you like to wrestle and you like to choke people out and do some dude, but I'll make a pact with you, you make a pact with me, that we stand up like men and we settle this like men."
Nassourdine continued, "I think Strickland will win the fight. And for the striking only pact, it's MMA. You don't decide the rules. If you want to do only striking, go to kickboxing." Daniel Cormier thinks Sean O'Malley will be screwed if he loses to Merab Dvalishvili again. Merab defeated Sean at UFC 306 this past September via unanimous decision. And after Merab defeated Umar Nurmagomedov this past weekend, he said he was open to the idea of running it back with Sean for his next fight. On his YouTube channel, DC gave his thoughts on the potential rematch. DC thinks if Sean loses again, he will be in a similar position as Yuri Prochazka, who lost twice to Alex Pereira.
I kind of want to see Umar versus Sean now. I kind of think that's a really fun fight.
Yeah, I don't know that O'Malley would do that. I don't know that it's.
You don't think he would fight Umar?
Why? Whenever they said that they're going to give you a title.
Yeah, so okay, I understand. If he,
you know what I'm saying? Like, why when they say they're going to give you a title fight? But that would be a fun one. I mean, I would love to watch it.
If he loses, so if Sean loses to Merab again, then where do you put him?
You're screwed. He's kind of in that same position as Yuri.
Yeah.
Bro, Yuri was like talking about how good, he's ready to fight Pereira again. And I'm like, I don't think I've seen many changes. Did you see many changes in his game?
I mean, his head movement did look better. He was very evasive. Jamahal had a hard time. At times, he had a hard time hitting him. There was other times where obviously Jamahal connected, and Jamahal doesn't hit with the same amount of power that Alex does. So if Alex hits you in certain instances, you're probably going to fall over. But yeah, no, I thought he looked good. I think it was fun. But no, I don't really want to see a third fight there, which is the problem. When you lose to a champion twice and they're still the champion, there's kind of nowhere to go.
If you lose to the champion twice, there's still the champion, there's nowhere to go. If you get finished by the champion twice, that's a real problem.
That too, yeah.
I mean, I think they fought twice and the fights have lasted maybe 4 rounds total.
Yeah.
They were scheduled for 10 rounds of fighting. They haven't made it to half. So Yuri has proven, though, he's the man.
Nate Diaz reacted to Conor McGregor running into both Logan and Jake Paul this week. Conor ran into them on a bus ride to Donald Trump's inauguration.
All right, we got an interesting bus ride to the inauguration here. couple best friends.
Nate Diaz reacted saying, "What the hell is going on here? You guys all been talking hella shit. You should have beat his ass. He would have f***ed you both up easy, but you should have at least gave it a try. After talking all that shit, you ladies all cap. Be about it, don't talk about it. Hashtag Paul Sisters versus hashtag Real Fighter." Renato Moicano discusses what's next for him. Renato thinks now that he lost to Islam Makhachev, people are going to start doubting him. Renato welcomes it and says he took no damage and wants to fight as soon as possible. He also reveals he made over $950,000 for the Islam fight.
You even tagged Dana White on Twitter, bro.
No,
You
of
said,
course.
"Make this
But,
fight."
brother, I'm not gonna be asking for fights, you
But
know?
does he actually have a fight? Because I don't. I thought
I
it
don't
was
know.
Chandler, and then
I thought it
doesn't-
was Chandler. He's not
and
fighting
Chandler's
Chandler.
asking for fights too, so
to
it doesn't
be
look
honest,
like it.
Chandler is not here at the gym yet. Every time that he has a camp, he will be here. Already.
Yeah.
It's
How
crazy
soon-
that Paddy
and
Pimblett is
when-
not fighting in
and-
England, right?
And that
How
days,
crazy.
that's March 22nd, right? So he should be in camp.
And how
already
soon
if he
could
was
you
fighting.
realistically fight again? Because you didn't.
think
It's
it-
not like you took damage.
No, I didn't take damage at all. I can
Yeah.
fight soon.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna choose any opponents because the matchmaking in UFC is hard. You know, like I say,
Yeah.
they just announced Gaethje
And Hooker, yeah.
in Hooker. I don't know who Chandler. Chandler is a fight that I would like, of course. Chandler, Dariush.
I love the Chandler fight.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
And Paddy.
And
If you can
Paddy.
pick three, those
Yeah,
Those are
Paddy.
your three options,
Yeah, Paddy. But I think
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
UFC has got plans for Paddy. That's the truth. But
100%.
now people gonna doubt me, and that's okay, you motherfuckers. I
Yeah,
hope
it's
you
like,
guys
you
do
know,
that. Somebody told me that after Arman pull out, they sell even more pay-per-views, you know, because everybody was exciting about. Of course, that was something different, right? That you don't see
Yeah.
that many times. So
Hey, talking about money. You don't need to say how much, but you got a nice check for this fight, right?
I got a nice
Let me
check.
set the over/under, bro. I'm gonna set the over/under at 9 Bitcoin. Over or under?
No, what do you think?
I think 9 Bitcoin's my prediction.
No, over.
Over.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
What's Bitcoin at right now? 104.
104.
So what's that? 950. So over 950.
Over.
Ooh, now we talking.
Hey.
Robert Whittaker says it was surreal training with Israel Adesanya and even hanging out with him in his house. Rob jokingly says at one point he would have liked to hit Izzy with his car. However, now they're in good places in their careers and can let the rivalry go. Speaking to Ariel Helwani, Rob said Izzy himself, he was probably the most receptive of everybody there. He was really open to the idea. I think we're both just in good places in our careers right now. Yeah, I had that thought of wow when I was walking into his house and sat on his couch and he asked me if I wanted anything to eat. I was like, where am I right now? How did we get here? It was kind of surreal. We kind of like being rivals as well. That kind of rivalry, it just set the stage for a long leg between me and Izzy. It was good to kind of hash that out. I wouldn't say it was personal, but I'm pretty sure in 2019 if I could have hit him with my car, I would have. Like not kill him, but a little bump. You know what I mean? Israel Adesanya says he will definitely continue to work with Robert Whittaker. Izzy also discusses whether or not he plans on working with Alex Pereira in the future. Speaking to MMAfighting.com, Izzy said, I was excited. I said, yeah, he can pull up anytime. I didn't know what day he was coming, so I saw him at the gym on Monday. I was ecstatic. I was hyped. That was a moment for the MMA world, for us in general. Just something to feel good about. Everyone liked this. Having a guy with his skill set, his experience, a new body, new energy, at this stage of your career, it's always nice. Like he said as well, not many people can understand what we've done to get to the point that we had. I was really excited to have him pull up and just share energy with me and the whole team. 100%, Anzacs United. I'd rather build with him and build together and get the next generation ready to take on the world so we can still say Anzacs United. Of course, even if he didn't train with me, having him around would have been beneficial to this camp because of the energy he brings. But training with him, hanging out with him, moving with him, definitely picked his brain and we shared a few ideas. But I can't wait because I'll go over there and do the same thing, and over the next few years, we'll be linking up a few more times. Yeah, definitely for the foreseeable future. Definitely we'll continue working together. As it should, because we're on this side of the world building. We've done so much for the game on this side of the world for Anzacs, and together we are stronger. So I'd rather build with him and us get the next generation ready and take on the world together. On working with Alex Pereira, Izzy continued, yeah, definitely down the road. Me and Alex, I've already said I got what I wanted from that fight. I think the MMA world just gets greedy and tries to ruin a good thing because they want more, never knowing when to quit. That's why you shouldn't gamble. But yeah, eventually it will. But right now it's not that time. He lives so far away, the opportunity hasn't arisen. We still have guys like Carlos Ulberg in the trenches working hard, getting ready for his next fight so he can become a #1 contender. I'll always respect Poatan. He's a guy that we already understood this and we've already shared this with each other. So yeah, it will happen one day. Who knows when? Alex Pereira gave his thoughts on Jamahal Hill's TKO loss to Yuri Prochazka. Although Jamahal and Alex had an altercation recently at the UFC PI and have been trash-talking each other since Alex knocked him out at UFC 300, Alex says he did not take any satisfaction in seeing Jamahal lose. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Alex said, "I have absolutely no problem with him. We're both the same. Sometimes I'll go and make some fun before the fight, or he will say something about me, but tomorrow we're going to hold hands and respect each other. I think all the turmoil that was created is a part of the sport." Conor McGregor says the UFC was not at all interested in the Logan Paul boxing match. Dana White shot the idea down recently. Dana flat out said no and said that he hopes Conor returns to the UFC in the fall. Despite Dana saying no, Conor says he's still interested in boxing an influencer. He'd like to face Logan Paul, Jake Paul, or KSI. Speaking to the Schmo, Conor said it is what it is. The UFC just aren't into it. The offer was there on the table in writing. Both athletes will say he's not fighting, but both are under the TKO banner. UFC, WWE both rising up. The stock price of TKO holding ground is through the roof. New market in India opened up and booming. It was business savvy and business sense to make the fight happen, or should I say glorified spar happen. In between this waiting period that we find ourselves in before I can get back to the octagon, it made perfect sense on the calendar to go ahead with it. The UFC weren't into it. The WWE, I'm not sure what their interest in it was. I just knew the UFC weren't into it. One of these days you'll just hear my music come onto this stage in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and I'll have my fist wrapped with no gloves for a fight. No promotion, no promo, no nothing. Just fighting a random fight on the card. That could be what the future holds. And legal making claims and all this, that's for I'm more inclined now for this influencer whatever you call it, because it's astronomical money. It's astronomical. The figures. Who was there? Jake, Logan, KSI. I like the three of these guys, and then all these other ones that are tussling around, so it's an interesting little side pocket branch, we'll call it. Stuff it down me sock and out I go. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Diego. It's in reference to Chael Sonnen saying that he believes Umar Nurmagomedov beat Merab Dvalishvili. It says Chael has some of the worst takes ever. The second one's in reference to Anthony Smith saying that he asked Hunter Campbell to compete in Power Slap. It's from Nash Predators. It says, please do not let Anthony Smith in Power Slap. Dude's brain needs a rest. And the final one's from Chris. It says, rumor has it that Ankalaev is preparing for Pereira by subscribing to Full Mount MMA to study the endless amount of sparring footage. Had to favorite that one. That was pretty good. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.